Yes, so I've been in the job 2.5 years. I've been at TENS for many years. And I've heard this over the course of the decade so many times when the generation finishes.
Hello, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me from my event report of Infosys Confluence here out of San Francisco. It's just wrapping up. I have the conference logo in the background, and my desire to show the beautiful designed zero distance module makes me talk again to famous gentlemen here, Pat Cash and Stefan Edberg, together with Infosys COO and another gentleman who I don't know, are talking about how sports and Infosys helping them on the AT&T side. So again, I keep my fingers crossed for good audio. So I think overall a great event for Infosys. The conference doubled its attendees compared to last year, and it's a unique conference with not just Infosys customers and prospects attending, but a lot of partners at the same time here, showing their kind of like meshed showcases of products built by partners and Infosys services, products built by Infosys. We were still waiting for partners to be here who implement on top of those products, but it's a very interesting, different dynamic here with lots of thought leaders and different partners on very interesting mixed panels. For instance, I saw a mixed panel between a medical company, Microsoft, PricewaterhouseCoopers, moderated by a gentleman who I believe had a background from Wipro. So very unusual content and great last night celebration with A.R. Rahman at a live concert and Santana. Can't get much better from that perspective. So what were the things we learned here at the event? I think the interesting thing is the zero distance message, which Infosys really for the first time repopularized, introduced today here at the event. And it was explained well by Infosys CEO Vishal Sikka in his presentation. They tied it to three general drivers, all of them pretty common around learning. The one which I think is the most interesting one was around the disintermediation which is happening, extreme disintermediation as we call it, between different parties. So that's what digital transformation can enables, and that's what zero distance creates basically. The only thing I was missing is no mention of blockchain, which is probably our distributed ledger technology, DLT, is probably one of the most innovative showcases going that. But it's also interesting to see that Sikka is kind of like a little bit critical of the latest developments around artificial intelligence. He made a great joke, at least for the audience and at least for myself, saying like recognizing cats is not really artificial intelligence. But the key point from him is saying we've been talking about these things since a very long time, and now they're really becoming real is the interesting thing. So closer to my top 3 takeaways, apart from the zero distance methods, the big announcement here was Mana, Infosys' new know-how extraction platform to automate processes better around their biggest use case, which is the level 3 support of their customers in IT, outsourcing IT support. Basically, it's taking what has been like a hot topic in business process, outsourcing the BPaaS, the business process as a platform concept, into the next level where not just the platform is being automated and standardized across customers, creating more uniformity, creating more fungibility of resources, creating more predictable outcomes for customers, but it's going to extract the knowledge of the work in order to make it more efficient. So very interesting solution. Interesting also because Infosys is drinking their own champagne. It's sitting on top of the Infosys information platform, IIP, using that to thrash and run models and figure out what are things which, starting with ITO, from a repeatability, what things could be pushed into scripts to automate things, which things could be help to predict certain use cases, where I want to, for instance, put up a general warning to users before they log more support cases. So all very interesting things of getting the knowledge out from, Pat Cash and Stefan Edberg stopped blurring, so that machine got reset, getting the knowledge out into automating it for better outcomes using less parts. And that's very much in line with what Sikka shared also in regards of Infosys, not just about people anymore, but it's about software and people. This morning we had a chance to catch up on the different products of Infosys. Missed the Finacle part, so nothing on that part, but had the chance to speak to Abdul Razak and his team around IIP, the Infosys information platform, which sets up into the IAP and the IKP on top of that. There's good progress for a product which barely is live since fall of last year. There's 220 engagements going on, 70 customers are live. The ATP here just shown is one of them, so very good early adoption of a product which is built on top of open source and then leverage things on top of that. So using the open source model, mostly deployed into the most common public cloud platform with AWS, and then taking, interesting enough, what we also see in general, taking mostly into private clouds once the load is understood and seen. The other product family we got a briefing on is the Edge family, which, as you know, automates different aspects in trading, procurement, customer care, and sorry, the fourth one escapes me by heart right now. Doing also well, launched before Vishal Sikka joined the company a few months earlier. Also, Infosys acting as a product owner. The products have release numbers. That's my standard questions on it. They have roadmaps. You pay maintenance for them. You can buy them as a perpetual license and install them on premise if you so wish. So really not a what typically you see from service companies, an IP-led offering, which then makes your productions more efficient on the customer side, but really a product from the perspective. 62 customers are live. Revenue has doubled. Good to see that. So overall, good progress on what I think, in my view, sets Infosys a little more apart from their competitors in that regards, that they build real tangible products. I asked Sika yesterday in the Q&A how he would differentiate Infosys towards the competition. He didn't take the bait. He took a more general point of saying, it's not so much about competing, but cooperating in the 21st century. Fair enough point. And less looking about the competition, but looking at yourselves and getting better. So that's a great message internally for a CEO. Still, the salespeople, marketing people, and us influencers would love to know how does Infosys differentiate themselves to what's, for instance, TCS, Wipro, to name the prominent Indian competitors, or to Accenture, Ernst & Young, Gemini. So that would be good to see, interesting to see. And here we'll dig for that further and learn more about it. So overall, my point of view, very good event for Infosys. Very business oriented here. People came here with a mission to understand and do certain things. Customers had outcomes, prospects were looking for solutions, partners were using and doing revenue, so that's good to see. An interesting vision and a very clear change in direction that Sika made very clear, away from people only and throwing more people at the problem, but throwing a mixture of software and people, and software augmenting the people to do better service, better outcomes. Very clear vision from that part of software changing the revenue model, making people more efficient, allowing people to do more. He quoted, forgot the name, right, the Indian professor is talking about doing less with more to do more in a different way, right? So very, very interesting quote there, not just out of India. So it's a good way of managing these things. Let's see that I didn't forget anything. No, Mana, interesting approach, definitely to get that now very early time. We need to look into that a little more and understand where the first customers are, the first use cases, and what kind of like really benefits are from coming there. So thanks for joining me. As usual, a little longer. Over and out from Infosys Confluence. Have a great day. Have a great week. Thanks. Bye-bye.